Alright guys, today is going to be a fun day. We've got glutes and hamstrings, so that means we got plenty of deadlifts, plenty of leg curls, and everything like that. A lot of guys sleep on glutes and hamstrings. They think that if you got the quads from the front, that's going to be good enough. That is not true. Every dude that wants to look yoked, we need a fucking big thick ass, and we need thick ass hamstrings. As always, on leg day, I recommend lift shoes. It makes a dramatic difference in your acceleration. The first thing we're going to start off with, of course, is going to be the deadlift. Now you see me warming up right here with the bar. I'm doing a stiff leg deadlift right here. No weight. That's just so I can push a bunch of blood into my glutes and hamstrings. The reason I do this, look, if you have ever pulled a hamstring before, you will know why I'm doing this. You want that stuff to be extremely warmed up, because pulling a hamstring will mess up your entire leg day. We don't want that. Warm up. You'll notice in my other videos, I do not train my nervous system a whole awful lot. Glutes and hamstrings, totally different. Every time I do deadlifts, I like to pull a little bit of moderately heavy weight. Now you see me warming up here with some baby weight, 135. Once again, I just want to make sure that I do not pull a hamstring. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit some reps. I'm going to move up weight slowly. And once I get to about 225, maybe 275, that's when I pull it down to the 1. And I'm going to hit one heavy rep at the very end. Now, if deadlifting is new to you and you just started, I highly advise you to take your time, okay? Because it's going to take you a little bit. And also, I want to tell you that deadlifts is the most important lift whenever it comes to building the glutes and the hamstrings. If I could only do one exercise for my glutes and hamstrings, it would, without a doubt, be a deadlift. Now, if you don't know how to deadlift and you're in the midst of learning how to do it, the number one thing is you need to keep your back straight. Not hunched forward and not curled backwards either. It needs to be straight. That is the absolute biggest key factor here. Now, this is going to take you some time. So if you don't know how to deadlift right now, don't worry about pulling heavy ass weight just yet. You want to learn how to rep 135 until it feels perfectly comfortable, and then start moving up from there. Because if there's one great way to ruin your back, it is doing deadlifts the wrong way. Don't be that guy. Take your time and learn how to do it correctly. Alright, now that I've pulled a little bit of heavy weight, I'll come over here to the Deadlift Machine. Now this is actually a squat-based lunge machine, but you can use it for deadlifts as well. I love using this for stiff leg because of the angle in which it places the weight. It allows me to keep a lot of tension right between the glute and hamstring, so everything stays very involved. So the difference here, whenever you see me doing the powerlifting deadlift, that is to train my nervous system. Whenever you train your nervous system, you are moving weight in a way that is going to increase your strength. Now what you see me doing right here with the stiff leg deadlift, I am not training my nervous system. What I'm trying to do here is to create a thickness in the muscle belly, and I'm doing that with time under tension and more volume. If you don't have this exact machine, it is just fine, because we could use a barbell and do the exact same thing. It's going to be a little bit different, but it's just as good. You are not sacrificing anything. Also, the exact same thing applies with your back. You want your back to be perfectly straight. If it starts to give out at any point, drop the weight, because it is not worth the injury. And also, you see right here, this is my last set, and I am going ham. I'm leaving it all on the table right now. Now, deadlifts are hard, and it takes it all out of you, but I really encourage you to learn to have fun with it and embrace the monstrosity of a mind that it takes to complete these things. So now what we've got going on right here is a variation of a good morning. A good morning is pretty much where you place a barbell on your shoulders and you lean forward. I'm not a fan of doing good mornings. I think it's kind of dangerous. I see people doing them, and I'm not saying that you can't do them. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just telling you that I personally do not like to do them, because there's other things you can do to replace it that's a lot more safe, like the motion that you see here. Now this is kind of similar to the stiff leg deadlift, in terms of tension, but the big difference is the way that the weight is placed on the muscles. See, with this motion, I've got my legs spread pretty far apart, so I feel it at the bottom of my glutes, but also on the inside of my hamstrings, that inner thigh. If you're trying to fill out the thickness of your legs, look, you can have all the quads you want, but if you don't have big, thick hamstrings from the inside, you will not appear to have big, thick legs. It is that simple. Now you'll notice that I do a lot of volume. Like I said, I don't spend that much time lifting heavy weight. That's because I'm trying to create big, thick muscle bellies. I usually do 3 or 4 sets on each exercise. The first one usually being like a feeler, and the second and third being working sets but not to failure. But that last set, it is always to failure, and I'm always aiming for 8, 12 reps, somewhere in there. 12 is like the perfect number. If your last set, if you're going 15, 16 reps, it might be a little too much. I would say bring that down a little bit, because we're already getting plenty of volume. But your last set of every exercise, I don't care if you're hitting arms, legs, chest, pinkies, toes, that last set needs to be everything you got. Now you also got to be careful whenever you're doing this. Because of the way you have everything positioned, going high and wide, it places your midsection in a vulnerable position. Now all that means is that you don't want to come down too far. You want to keep it in a very short range, and you want to feel a big stretch on the hamstrings. And also you want to pump it. You don't want to stick the motion too much like you do sometimes with quad motions. Quad motions, I'm always going to try to stick it at the very top. This one, I'm going to try to pump it as quick as I can. Now we're moving into the leg curl. This is definitely one of my favorite exercises for the hamstrings. It allows me to keep so much tension back there, it is absolutely ridiculous. This exercise is all about the rhythm. If I go slow, it's not the same. You want to burst that weight up as quick as you can, but you don't want to swing it, but you want to pull it up as fast as you can, and on the way down you want to fight it. It's like a constant fight up and a constant fight down, so that way you can get as much tension as possible. I've done these to the point where my hamstrings are screaming. If you're trying to develop those thick lines and those details in the back of the hamstrings, this is one of the most important ones. This is not going to put a lot of girth in your hamstrings. However, it will build the details that look great. Don't be scared of the volume. Volume is awesome, especially if we're trying to create big, thick, round muscle bellies. Now with these hamstring curls, this is perfect because it allows you to keep constant tension all the time. Don't be afraid of it. I want you to curl until your hamstrings are screaming, okay? I mean, I want you to not be able to walk away from this thing. That's whenever you know you got the full benefit and you gave it everything you got. Now this machine right here is a bit unique. I know not a lot of gyms have them, and I can't even tell you what it's called. But what I can tell you for sure is that whenever I hit this thing, my glutes are on fire. Especially at the very top of the motion, the ridge, it hits the whole thing. Now you'll notice at the bottom, I point my toes down. And as I come up, I kind of twist my legs outwards a little bit because it really helps for me to squeeze the outside of my glute. If you want to build the ridge and build the details, this is going to be a really good one. Another big thing is that you don't want to swing it, because you'll notice how I'm stopping the weight before it gets that pendulum effect. Now if I were to allow it to go farther forward, it would give me a lot of momentum and that would help me swing it all the way up. But instead, what I'm doing is I'm fighting it all the way up, but as it gets to the bottom, I'm kind of like hitting the brakes, right? So I'm stopping it and I'm not allowing to get any mechanical advantage out of the machine. I'm trying to make it as hard as I possibly can. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for the video today. I really hope y'all enjoyed the content, and also I really hope you found value in today's video. If you enjoyed everything, hit the like button and subscribe. I'm going to be posting tons of great content for you guys to learn from. I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.